What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on FantasyPros with a 10-team full PPR mock. We have got the first pick overall. Should be pretty interesting. Our roster, same as always. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. But that's pretty much it. So we can, kick this thing off. And while we wait, a quick reminder, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at alldaypigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments section. Any questions you guys might have, we will do our best to answer them all. And lastly, make sure to check out the 2022 ADP Fantasy Football Draft Guide, now available for purchase. Everything you can want at a great value. Top 150 overall player rankings in standard and PPR formats, individual player tier projections, along with general fantasy advice, details in the description. But with that being said, let's get into it here. And again, we are first overall. It's a full PPR draft. Normally here, I would go Christian McCaffrey. I feel like that's what I've done in probably 90% of the mock drafts where I have the first overall pick. So with that being said, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go Jonathan Taylor, even though he is the preferred option. I've said it before, in full PPR, I would still have Christian McCaffrey. Yes, he is risky. There's that aspect to it in terms of the last 2 years, him dealing with injuries. But, when healthy, which is how you have to do these projections, he's the number one guy. But, enough of that. You know how I feel about that. It's beating a dead horse. After Jonathan Taylor, let's break it down. You see McCaffrey, Najee. Whoa, 103 for Najee, way too early. I want to point that out. Austin Eckler should have been at that spot, who went 4th overall, then Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Travis Kelce, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. So Kelce goes with the 8th pick in the first round. I think that's too early as well. The fact that Dalvin Cook went with the last pick in the first round, crazy value. Alvin Kamara, in the majority of drafts you probably see on Yahoo or ESPN, he's not going to be going that early. People are worried about the suspension. Then Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, so great value on all those wide receivers there. You see DeAndre Swift, then Deebo Samuel, Javonte Williams, Leonard Fournette, and Nick Chubb. The fact that any of those guys went ahead of Aaron Jones is absolutely, laughable. And you better believe Aaron Jones is going to be one of our selections here because I think he's an absolute steal. Again, it's a 10-team league, so it's going to be a situation where a lot of these rosters are loaded. But I think we're getting the most bang for our buck with a lot of these selections. Like right now, I could go Saquon Barkley, but I know the likelihood that I can get Travis Etienne in the next round is also pretty high. I could go with a wide receiver here, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, or I can try and get a positional advantage with Mark Andrews at tight end. Probably, honestly, that's what I'm going to do here. In these 10-team leagues, that's kind of, it's a move that makes sense. It's a move that there's validity to, and let's see what happened here, because I think this is, after the first 3 rounds in a 10-team league where you have the first pick overall, that's where it really picks up, like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. That's where it's going to be the money zone for you, because the first 3 picks, like, there's still a lot of depth out there. The fact that you can get like an Aaron Jones at that point, a Mark Andrews, like other guys that were still on the board, Saquon, Zeke. So that's the point. I feel like in these smaller leagues, this is where the real draft begins, like in the 4th, 5th round. And for us, after we went Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Mark Andrews, we still obviously don't have a wide receiver, so that should be on our list of priorities. These selections, just to go through them: CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek, A.J. Brown, James Conner, Josh Allen, Saquon, tremendous value with the 7th pick in the 3rd. Mike Evans, great value there. Montgomery, Zeke with the last pick in the 3rd round. What are you doing, folks? He shouldn't be slipping that much. Then in the 4th round, we have to call this out, DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, FantasyPros hasn't figured out their algorithm to tell him that he's suspended. Keenan Allen dropping that far is ludicrous. Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Cam Akers, Waddle, Michael Pittman, Terry McLaurin. I would have loved Michael Pittman or Terry McLaurin for us. That doesn't happen. So here we can either go back-to-back wide receivers, or we can go with a running back and a wide receiver. I mentioned it before that here I would be taking Travis Etienne if he is available. He is. I want to get a 3rd running back. It's the most important position. So we have that taken care of. Now we're going to go with our top wide receiver. And the guy that I have, simply put, ranked the highest is Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, in terms of overall rankings, comes in at 60. So, I mean, there's a chance that he makes it back to us, but I wouldn't hold my breath. It's going to be right on the edge. So I guess we could go with another guy in like a Marquise Brown first. So I guess let's get cute with it and see if it pays off, even though I'm pretty sure Allen Robinson, that is, will probably get drafted beforehand. But, I'm swinging for the fences here. And let's see if it pays off. DJ Moore, I think Marquise Brown with Kyler Murray is a better choice. So let's see what happens now. Wow, the gamble actually pays off because Allen Robinson's on the board. Let's see why that happened, though, if there was a run on a certain position. So, yeah, we got lucky. Huge run on tight end and quarterbacks, honestly. So after we went Marquise Brown, you see Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Antonio Gibson, then Waller, Kittle, Jerry Jeudy, Breece Hall, Patrick Mahomes, DK Metcalf. Then you see Kyler Murray, J.K. Dobbins, Justin Herbert, T.J. Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz with the pick before us, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, and then Lamar and Joe Burrow. So I'm definitely very, very happy with the way this worked out. Allen Robinson is still there for us. He is the no-brainer selection here for me. And then here, why not get more wide receiver depth? Like, we've gotten to the point where, the majority of teams have quarterbacks, and I'm perfectly fine landing a Matthew Stafford or somebody like that. So that's what I'm going to do. As long as I've gotten past the top tier of quarterbacks, at that point, I'm perfectly fine waiting. So here, let's just continue to add depth. I would say it makes more sense to do it at the wide receiver position since we only have two of those guys. I'm going to go with another guy that I think has very, very high upside. To me, that is Rashad Bateman. So let's pull the trigger on Rashad Bateman here at wide receiver. Let's go without Marquise Brown. I think he's got some really, really nice upside in Baltimore. And then I think this is probably where we get to the point of, okay, we got to do a little bit more digging, a little bit more, smart selections. But actually, I think we get lucky again because Darnell Mooney is still available. His volume upside is huge. So he's probably going to be the selection for us. Again, let's see why that was possible. We see Chris Godwin going in the 7th round. Could be a steal depending on when he plays. Amon-Ra, Josh Jacobs, Cortland Sutton. There goes Elijah Mitchell. I would have probably drafted him if he was available in the 8th. Jalen Hurts, Michael Thomas, Robert Woods, Julio. Again, similar to the DeAndre Hopkins situation, get your algorithm figured out. FantasyPros for free agent wide receivers and for suspended wide receivers. Julio shouldn't be drafted as long as he's still a free agent. Then Adam Thielen, huge run on running backs. A.J. Dillon, Miles Sanders, Clyde, Cordero, Elijah Moore, Juju, and then Devin Singletary. So again, here, this is pretty simple. One of our picks will be Darnell Mooney. I really like the way this is, shaping up for us. It's a situation where we just got really, really good value on a guy that has no business slipping this far. Now, let's see how many teams have a quarterback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, I can wait on the quarterback position. Looking at running backs, who can we go with? We can go with the Kareem Hunt, I guess like a safe type of PPR guy, pretty valuable if something happens to Nick Chubb. So let's go Kareem Hunt, get some depth there, and then probably in the next round select our quarterback, and then kind of wrap this thing up. So quarterback, we're going to go with one of our favorites, get that stack, Matthew Stafford at this point in time. Feel good about that one. Running back, let's see who else is available. Do we have any handcuffs? No, not really. Naheem Hines, I wouldn't call a handcuff to Jonathan Taylor. Travis Etienne, no. So looking at our cheat sheet again, I would say the top guys are gone. So I'm going to continue to go with value picks. I'm going to go with Allen Lazard as one of our guys to, potentially high upside in Green Bay without Devontae Adams. And then we're going to make one last selection. Might get a little bit cute and add another tight end, maybe a Cole Kmet if he's available. He is wide receiver. Russell Gage could have some value, but you don't know what's going to happen, with Chris Godwin. So, yeah, you know what? Quarterback who's the fact that Russell Wilson's still there is also bonkers. If something happens to Mark Andrews, let's go with Cole Kmet. Yes, I realize we also have Darnell Mooney, but these guys should both see crazy volume. So we're going to wrap it up with Cole Kmet. And I was about to say, I feel like we got a pretty high draft grade, And this is one of the highest we've gotten. It's a 96 out of 100. Not that I really look at that too much, but I mean, it makes sense why. Matthew Stafford, he's going to be a borderline top 5 quarterback. That's what he was last season. No reason why he can't duplicate that again. At running back, we got Jonathan Taylor, we got Aaron Jones and Travis Etienne. We got Kareem Hunt as some depth. Then wide receivers, we got super lucky with Allen Robinson dropping to us. We got Marquise Brown. Then we got Mark Andrews, basically a wide receiver 1 at the tight end position. Very important to get that positional advantage. Rashad Bateman, even though we waited at wide receiver, we got him. We got Mooney and Alan Lazard, and we got depth behind Mark Andrews. Something happens with Cole Kmet. So honestly, I tend to agree with this grade. I probably wouldn't go full A. I'd give it an A-, something like that. But yeah, I think this turned out really well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section, along with any other questions you guys might have. I'll do my best to answer them all. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe. Again, check out the 2022 ADP Fantasy Football Draft Guide, now available for purchase. Details in the description. In the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.